Hey guys, Caller here, bringing you another Jaedong versus Zerg game. That's right, this is a game played between Lecaf and Hanbit in the Pro League on June 1st, 08. And Jaedong is playing against Zero once again. He's defeated him, I believe, about 2 weeks ago, but he's playing him for his 12th Zerg versus Zerg win in a row. That's right, Jaedong has won 12 Zerg versus Zergs in a row. And while some of them were quite close calls, I have to say it's just absolutely amazing in pro gaming to see a streak like this. I think this must be the longest. I don't know, actually. I don't know if there's been a longer streak against a single race for any player in the history of Pro StarCraft. In any case, though, he is going to go for the 12th game here in a row, and I'm going to continue casting Jaedong games until he loses. And, by the way, Jaedong was purple, spawning at the 11 o'clock position. Zero, playing for Hanbit Stars, is red, spawning at the 5. And his map is Othello. And really, I mean, Jaedong has had so many close calls, but Zerg versus Zerg is all about close calls. You can't win a game unless you're willing to die at some point. And whether it's early on when you're going for an early rush and you could be very far behind if your rush fails, or if it's later and you're gonna go for more drones perhaps, or go for your expansion base. All these things you have to be right on the edge. You never are far ahead in Zerg versus Zerg unless the game is completely decided. And basically, the moment you're far ahead, the game's already won for you. There's no period before them which you could really say anyone is that far ahead. Looks like both players are going to be going for their overlords here, and actually it looks like Zero also getting 3 more drones probably after that overlord. Yes, he will, so he might be going for a 12 pool or a 12 hatchery build here. We'll see what either player decides to do here, and Jaedong so far has also gone for the 12 drone build here. And I believe this is probably something saying Lecaf 3-0, or there could be the other way around, I don't know. And I don't know who that is. I should probably recognize him, but I don't. Looks like Jaedong going for a 12 pool plus an extractor, and Zero going for the 12 hatchery at the expansion. And actually, this is not a bad build against Jaedong's 12 pool, because Jaedong will not be able to get a Zergling rush fast enough to do any damage to that second hatchery. If Jaedong had gone for something like a 9 pool into speedlings, he might have. And Jaedong might be going for an expansion of his own, I believe. And he will plan his expansion also. So both players going for similar builds here. Actually, Zero is going to be 1 or 2 drones ahead, pretty much because of his build, although I think Jaedong might be a little bit faster in tech. And yeah, so since I don't have that much time, and that's a nice drawing, some kid, I guess Jaedong may be riding a Mutalisk. Since I don't have that much time recently, I've just been so busy with work and real life things that I really just, basically, I've been, you know, just completely swamped. I'm going to be doing a lot of single games like this instead of full series, unless I just find myself with something like 2 hours straight of time. And it looks like Jaedong temporarily stopped mining gas, and now he's mining again. He's got his Zerglings out a little bit faster, but he's not going to go anywhere with them. Meanwhile, it seems that Zero has actually gotten his lair upgrade before Jaedong. I assume that Jaedong went for the metabolic boost for Zergling speed, and now he's saving another 100 gas before he goes for lair. So actually, Zero is quite a bit ahead in terms of his tech, and actually soon in terms of his production. The only thing he's behind in is right now Zergling count, and of course the Zergling upgrade. So basically the impetus is on Jaedong now to do some damage, and the problem is they are in cross position, so this is something that definitely favors Zero in his build. And meanwhile, it looks like Jaedong finally will get a scout on Zero here. He's also morphing to lair. So both players going for a sort of interesting strategies here. I mean, Zerg versus Zerg really, you could do a couple of things, like really 2 things, right? You know, a fast rush and an expansion, and handling the rush, basically receiving the rush. And it seems that both players have gone for the expansion here. So interestingly enough, Jaedong's going to go for an attack now, it seems, and Zero, like I said, has a good production. He's got at least a dozen lings there. Jaedong also. And Jaedong, I believe, already has speed. Yeah, he does have speed already for his Zerglings. And looks like he's going to be trying to dance around, perhaps do some damage to the hatchery. Both players trying to establish a good concave here. Attack going in here. It looks like Jaedong is in a slightly better position. Zero's Zerglings will get picked off here. It looks like Jaedong has a slight advantage, maybe 3 Zerglings ahead of Mensol. Mensol Zero, by the way, that is his name. And wow, I don't know how Jaedong manages to do this. He just consistently manages to out-micro other Zergs Zerglings. I mean, just look at that. I think they had identical numbers to start with, and Jaedong now with a substantial lead, and Mensol cannot get his Zerglings together. Zero cannot get his Zerglings together, and Jaedong could have gone up the ramp there. I guess he was just waiting for his reinforcements to come in and try to kill off more of these Zerglings, go for a finishing blow here. It looks like he has got enough Zerglings to start picking off this hatchery. Jaedong, which is absolutely tight control there, absolutely amazing. We haven't seen either player put down their Spire yet, although maybe just because of the announcer. It looks like a Spire was placed in Zero's base, I think. And Jaedong, I don't know if he has a Spire down quite as early because he's committed more to Zerglings, I think, or perhaps he's just managed to have more survive. And wow, Mensol Zero is hugely behind right now. I think he's going to lose this game against Jaedong. Basically, he's down the hatchery. His Spire is now getting picked at by these Zerglings, and if Jaedong continues to attack, he will be able to pick off that Spire. Wow, and Zero forced to pull out all of his drones to defend that. And he does succeed in defending it, and he's trying to do a pithy little counterattack with the 2 Zerglings, but that's not going to work. Jaedong now aiming for the Sunken Colony that's trying to go up inside of Zero's main, and Zero finally has it sunken up, so this Zergling harass won't be so effective. He needs to get some Mulisks out, of course, to do any damage to Jaedong before Jaedong gets his Spire up, and it's just way too late for Zero to possibly have a chance to come back. But I think based because he had to go for that Sunken Colony and you know, lost so many Zerglings there, he really doesn't have the minerals to probably get a large number of Mulisks. Probably he'll have 1 or 2 Mulisks at most before Jaedong's come out, and Jaedong would just be able to build some Scourge and end this game pretty much. And Zero's counterattack has been defeated. Looks like probably 2 Mulisks being created for Zero. And yeah, Zero just with 2 Zerglings running around, that's not going to do too much. Next game, by the way, that I will cast will be a game between Firebat Hero and someone called Shiaz, played a year ago, suggested by a viewer of mine. And basically, it's just a funny little game where he does some amazing stuff, and you know, I enjoyed it. I think it was quite pimp. I won't say it's pimpist because I got a little flack for that by saying CHRH could have been a pimpist play. I don't mean that it could have necessarily been as good as those games that make it to the top 10. I guess I just call pimpist plays games which I choose because they just have interesting plays in them, not because I'm scheduled to do them or because they're up-and-coming games or because they're historical series. And wow, looks like Jaedong with a rare bit of miss micro there, missing those Mulisks as he was flying around with the Scourge. That might actually cost Jaedong a lot here. While I was talking about that, Zero has managed to get himself 5 Mulisks, and Jaedong, wow, finally picking off 1 Mulisk for those Scourge. Zero needs to go in and do some damage, though, immediately. I guess he's forced to babysit the Sunken Colony a little bit and babysit his drones. But really, if he has any chance of going for the win, he has to go balls out. He has to go and attack Jaedong in his main. He can't just constantly play defense, because Jaedong does have an economic advantage. Oh, Jaedong picks up another Mulisk there. There was no mistake there, and really, Zero could have done a better job there, I think, microing against those Scourge. But really, now Jaedong has caught up in the number of Mulisks. I think he's, so far in this entire game, lost 1 drone total. And he's obviously mining out of 2 bases here. So unless Zero does some damage within the next 30 seconds, I think this game's completely over. I think the game was pretty much completely over a little bit ago, but Zero basically might have had an opening when he killed off those Scourge. But really, at this point, with equal numbers of Mulisks, I don't think Zero can do much at all. And Zero is going to be able to micro successfully against that Scourge, but really, once Jaedong gets his Mulisks in there, he will not be able to micro against Scourge anymore, and he will take some losses. Meanwhile, he's trying to pick off 2 of Jaedong's Overlords here, and Jaedong, for some reason, not using his Mulisks. Of course, he does have a reason, which I just don't know about. And looks like Jaedong now moving south. Yeah, he's definitely now going towards Zero's base. Zero is basically forced to go southwest, and Jaedong now aiming straight at his drone line, and he's going to get there way before Zero can defend himself. And this is going to be a good game here. Right now, Jaedong is going to win the 12th Zerg versus Zerg in a row. There is no way about it, and Jaedong with just cool precision there. I mean, just excellent game. When I thought he was a little bit, actually he was, I mean, a little bit economically behind based on just early game builds, but Jaedong just had the perfect Zergling micro there, and that Zergling micro is what won the game for him. Looks like Zero managing to fight off this attack temporarily, but Jaedong now mining out of 2 gases, and of course that's essential for Zerg versus Zerg, is your gas production. You'll just be able to out-scourge your opponent, even if you don't have that many minerals. And now Jaedong going for another attack on Zero's main here. I think both have maybe 3 Mulisks total each. And really, this is just it's almost like a game of chicken or something. When the Mulisks are running towards each other, it's like who can get off one hit and then run away. Actually, I don't think that's like chicken at all, but whatever it is, it's like jousting, I guess. And looks like Jaedong's Mulisk actually are going to get picked off here. Only one Mulisk left for Jaedong, but he's managing to pick off pretty much all the drones. I think there's 4 drones left, 3 mining gas, and wow, another 1 mining gas dies, and really, just Zero is so far behind right now. And I have to say, I wonder if there'll be a Zerg anytime soon who could defeat Jaedong. I mean, of course, there are probably, well, there's at least one Terran who can beat him, and probably some of the up-and-coming Protosses might be able to beat him. But so far, not one Zerg player has come close to Jaedong at all, and it's just, it's amazing to see how good he is in Zerg versus Zerg. I would actually like to see him fight Luxury. Luxury, I have to say, is very good also. And statistically, he's almost as good as Jaedong. Jaedong is an over 70% win rate. And GG coming from Zero there. Zero realizing there's absolutely no chance. And Jaedong winning the 12th Zerg versus Zerg in a row. Which Zerg will be able to defeat him? I mean, seriously, if you're a Zerg and you're facing Jaedong, basically he's like, just put your name at the end of the list where it says 13. And just get in line to be owned. Alright guys, I'll try to keep this video short. Hope you enjoyed. This is Caller.